Big story. And this guy's been all over my timeline for the past week and a half. I just can't get away from it. I don't actually know. It's hard to quantify how big he is, but from anecdotal evidence, anecdotal experience, I can say that's been my whole timeline for the past 2 weeks, is this guy's clips and streams and people talking about what he's doing. And for those that don't know, this is a live streamer. I'm not sure exactly how old he is, but as far as I understand it, he is an advocate for just saying the N-word in public. That seems to be the big idea. I don't want to say that for certain because I don't watch his live streams, but what he is known for is going out, doing IRL live streams, antagonizing, provoking people, saying the N-word, and effectively provoking black people into hostile confrontations, into altercations. So he's at the park, he's at the gas station, he's in the mall, he's in a restaurant, and he's getting in fights with people. They don't want him to live stream, they kick him out. He goes and says the N-word, he gets confronted by a black person. They almost get in a shootout, he walks away. And apparently this has been escalating. As he has increased in infamy and notoriety, his streams are getting more attention, and people are now looking to find him and trying to start trouble. And the noose is tightening, so to speak. Walls are closing in. He's having problems with his family. He's having problems with the law. People are stream sniping him. They see that he's live. They see where he is during the live stream, and they pull up and confront him in real life. Sometimes armed, sometimes not. It's turning into a very ugly situation, very precarious.
It's not just ugly, it's just dangerous, which makes me think. I always thought he was either suicidal or maybe he just underestimated how people would take offense to this, or he's just somebody that is just flat out dumb. See, I don't like to label people. I like to look at people's views from context. I want to listen to you. I want to see how you process stuff. I want to see how you express yourself. I'm not just going to point fingers at you and say, oh, no, you're racist. I'll never watch you. I'll never listen to you. No, I don't do that. I watch and I listen to like the most controversial people on the planet. And I do that for educational purposes. It helps me understand things even much deeper than most people do, because like, oh yeah, he's racist, I'm not going to listen to him. No. I'll listen. I just want to see what you're about. But I never watched Chud The Builder because I thought he was stupid. I didn't think no platform wanted to host him. There was nothing intelligent about him. He seemed to be a very troubled individual. And what he chose to make money with, the internet, but what he chose to make money with, the path of content that he chose is not monetizable. So it didn't make sense to me. Like, what you're trying to do is not monetizable. No platform will host you. No employer will employ you once they see one of your videos. So at 27 or 28 years old, you've essentially thrown in the towel. Unless you amass a lot of donations from some ridiculous people, there is no way to monetize this stuff. It doesn't monetarily make sense. That's when I knew he was stupid. I said, this doesn't monetarily make sense. You're not going to be employed by anybody. And even these donation platforms, they are all third-party platforms. They can take down your donations because they don't want to be associated with your stuff. Because every page on the web is exposed to some type of ad revenue or AdSense. And nobody wants to host websites that encourages this, that monetizes this, or makes a living off of this. And I thought he was doomed from the start. This is why I didn't do a lot of videos about him. I didn't overreact to this. But let's listen to what Nick has to say here.
Yes. And a lot of people have been saying for the past few weeks, there's only one way this is going to end. And that is that somebody's going to confront him, and they're going to get in a shootout, and he's going to die, or he's going to kill somebody. If your whole shtick is you're apparently at war with the black community, it seems that the goal is to offend and provoke as many black people as possible. And you could say that's the intention or not, but that is the end result. That's the effect. People are saying the inevitable result, and he himself included, have said it is going to come to that where he's going to get in some kind of a fight. He's going to pull his gun out. Someone else will pull the gun out, and someone's going to die. And finally today, that's what happened. I guess he went to the courthouse in Nashville for some reason. He was approached by a black person. It's hard to know exactly what happened because the stream cut out. The black person walked up to him. He said some words to the black guy. Black guy starts hitting him. He shoots the guy, apparently shoots himself in the arm in the process. Now he's been charged with attempted murder and reckless discharge of a firearm. He's facing between 20 and 30 years in prison. So they booked him, they charged him. Sheriff says they're not going to tolerate violence and they're going to bring the full weight of the law down on both people involved. This is a story from the Associated Press. It says, quote, a man who goes by Chud the Builder and live streams himself saying racially derogatory statements to black people in public settings was arrested and charged with attempted murder after a shooting outside a Tennessee courthouse on Wednesday, said authorities. Dalton Etherly and an unidentified man were involved in a confrontation that resulted in gunfire, said District Attorney Robert Nash. Nash wouldn't say why Etherly was at the courthouse in Clarksville, what he was doing, or what prompted the confrontation. Etherly was being held at the Montgomery County Jail until bond can be set at an arraignment hearing. Etherly was also charged with employing a firearm during a dangerous felony, aggravated assault, and reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon. Claire Martin, who works in an attorney's office across the street, said that Etherly is well known in Clarksville for antagonizing people to see what he can get them to do. She said he yells racial slurs at people while filming them. He is not a contributing member of society, she said. So I saw this go down. I see what happened. And I just want to say at the outset, I do not want to pile on because this guy seems like he's having a lot of problems. And I saw a clip yesterday, seemed to be having some kind of a breakdown, crying, saying that his ex-wife wants to change their son's name because she doesn't want to be associated with him, and saying that his parents don't talk to him, and he's being confronted in public. And I guess he was apprehended by the FBI at some point this week where they took his devices, interrogated him. He's unable to access his accounts because they deleted his Google Pass, his authenticator app. So he's been having a lot of problems. I don't want to pile on. It's obviously an unfortunate situation. But I do want to say that this just so typifies the kind of behavior that I have been trying to tell you for a long time is not going to lead anywhere productive or beneficial to anybody. Not to the movement, not to us, not to anybody. And I've seen a lot of people today on Twitter try to make this guy out to be a martyr.
When he says the movement, what kind of movement is he talking about? Is he looking at this from white evangelical Christians, white males, people on the right in general? Or, because I don't think this guy belongs to any movement. You know, obviously there are black people on the right, you know, so I don't think he belongs to a movement. So what movement is Nick talking about? Let me know in the comment section.
And they're saying, well, blacks are violent and we have a civil right for free speech and to say the N-word and all these kinds of things. And I want to say, that's not a martyr. What is actually the objective? What are we trying to achieve here? First of all, you're an IRL live streamer, so that means you are out in public with a camera streaming. And let's be honest, I'm a live streamer, so I know, and I've done IRL streams with other people before. When you are an IRL live streamer, you are looking for altercations. You are looking for interesting things to happen. It always necessarily lends itself to problems and drama. And in many cases, yes, fighting. You know about Clavicular. Clavicular is another huge IRL live streamer. Every other week, it's something similar. He's being arrested. He's shooting an alligator. He's getting in a fight with a girl. People are pulling up on him in the street. He's getting choked out. It's always like that. That is what happens when you are an IRL streamer. It never goes anywhere other than that. And for obvious reasons, if you are a successful IRL streamer, you are going to attract a lot of attention. And so then when you go out and do your IRL streams, people are going to look for a problem. They're going to stream snipe. There's going to be issues. What's more, if you want to remain a popular streamer or become one, you have to look for viral moments, which means drama, conflict, problems. And if you want to remain a successful streamer, you always have to up the ante. Always has to intensify. Always has to get more extreme. And so there's really no way to do an IRL stream without it eventually going there. Eventually going to a place where it's too hot, where you get into legal problems, you get attacked in public, the drama consumes your life. So in the first place, let's just be very honest. I see a lot of people saying this is political. I put out a clip not too long ago criticizing this guy, and people in the replies said, well, the difference between you and him is he's out there doing something. He's a civil rights activist. It's political. He's out there in the real world doing something. And I want to say, what exactly is this accomplishing? What is this doing for anybody? Because I could tell you what it is doing for this individual in question. It is ruining his life.
Yep.
What's happening to Chud the Builder? His life is cooked.
He's done. Yeah.
He's unemployable. He's estranged from his family. He's putting himself.
That's exactly what I said. And I have a video about this on the live channel. I said it on a live stream that this guy is not employable. Nobody's going to touch him. Even if he repents, even if he changes his life, what's on the internet is going to stay for the rest of his life. That nobody would want to be a coworker of his. Nobody's going to want to employ him. He's going to have to sit on government benefits. If he doesn't end up in prison, he's going to have to sit on government benefits and maybe some donations, cash apps, for the rest of his life. This is stupid. Absolute madness.
In physical jeopardy every time he goes out in public, especially on a live stream. So not good for him. What's it doing for everybody around him? Causing problems for them too. They're being harassed if they make some kind of appearance on the stream and it's negative. They're being annoyed because they have to witness all this going down. It's being imposed on them if you're in the restaurant or the mall or the park where this is going down. And then in terms of the broader conversation, is this actually changing the conversation about race relations in America?
No.
I think that black people were doing a pretty good job of exposing themselves perfectly fine before Chud the Builder came along, were they not? You know there's a problem in this country, which is that black people don't know how to behave for the most part. It's not all of them, but I think even a lot of black people will admit it's a lot of them. And we see the clips. We see the clips from Spirit Airlines, and we see the clips from the trampoline park and the water park and the teen takeovers in Florida and in Chicago. And we see the brutal attacks on people in the subway in New York or on the train in Chicago. We get the idea. We know. And I like to think actually that the tide was turning in our favor for years because this has become, I think, a lot more transparent. These videos have gone viral, and I think there's been a lot more honesty about it. Does it actually push the conversation forward to add a white person to the mix, acting like them, getting in fights, screaming racial slurs, all this sort of, I think it actually does the opposite. I think that if anything, all it does is create some kind of justification for their behavior. It says, well, maybe here they were minding their business until this guy started screaming a slur that is offensive. What is the purpose of that? What is the purpose of doing this? And people now say, he's a martyr, he's a martyr. Well, the black people were chimping out. Well, I don't know. If I were standing around and a black person was live streaming near me and they started saying things offensive to white people, yeah, maybe I would feel a certain type of way about that. Maybe, isn't that sort of our whole thing? And there's something ironic about that. You have a lot of people who are pro-white, and it's all about racial pride, and it's all about beating their chest, and it's all about saying, oh, you know, I'm white. Don't try that stuff around me. Don't insult white people around me.
The best thing in life is to be pro-human, okay? Not pro-black, because I'm not pro-white, because I'm not. I am pro-human. And I do mine based on who you are as a person. If you're on the good side, I'm with you. If you're chaotic and you're causing problems and you don't understand the bigger picture and you're not kind, then I don't rock with you, period. That's it. So you can find me in the club full of white men and I won't feel any kind of way. I'll blend in so well and so fine. I do it in corporate all the time. And you can find me amongst a bunch of Latinos and I'll do well there too. I can communicate with them, you know. So I am pro-human. And any part of the globe that I go to, I've been able to get along with a lot of people. But this thing of putting yourself into columns and tribes, it only creates more and more division. And it brings out the worst in people. And you're seeing that this gentleman, I don't even want to call him a gentleman, what he has done is he's essentially ruined his life. And he may have done it for clout or for people to put his name out there, but you don't want your name out there in such a negative light because you can never recover from something like this. When you are known to be this kind of a person, you can never recover from it. And the fact that you've destroyed your life over some views and clicks, it's like mind-boggling. It beats my mind. Like nobody should ruin their lives like this. And you're doing this at a time when there's massive layoffs, when the U.S. economy is not the best, when inflation is back up, gas prices are almost $4. We are having a lot of problems to even exist as humans. Black, white, Asian, doesn't matter. We're having a lot of problems as humans. We're having a lot of problems. And to look beyond all our problems and constantly rage bait and put yourself in a position to be hurt or to hurt other people beats my mind. I hope he gets the maximum he can ever get, you know, within the confines of the law. so that you put names like this away for good, so they don't ever pick up a camera to cause even more harm. Because if he comes out, he's gonna even do 10 times worse than he ever did. And let me know what you guys think about next reaction. I'll see you guys in the next video.